When I first heard the sound of rain on a metal roof, seeing a bird build a nest, when I first talked with a friend for hours about nothing, when I first felt nostalgia, my first job, first handshake, hug, first love, when I first knew the sky to be blue, to know the depths of art, the depths of despair, the lives those lizards live. When I first heard music, when I first saw colors, when I first tasted ice cream and the warm feeling of the sun, the warm feeling of a comfortable blanket in the cold. All of it was new no longer. The first person I was jealous of, the first person jealous of me, first city I saw, first village I walked into, the first mountain I climbed, by God, the lighthouses I saw. And the first wedding I went to, the last funeral I will attend. After everything, my years of new things, new and discovered and consumed my mind, comprehends as in old things pass and new things come. I'll grow older, and eventually I might as well have never known. To I, the one who's been here so long, it will all be new no longer. Chapter 1, Life.
Chapter 1, Life.
Chapter 1, Life.
The first. The tide came in for the first time when she made the moon, and I saw the fish arise as the first tide sat under the first sky, filled with the first clouds, and soon came the first flood, and she looked down on us, the first people, with a grin that said silently, "Do you see how talented I have become?"
A flock of birds flies through the leafy canopy, unaware of me standing below, gazing at their grace. Or maybe they do know. Maybe they are aware. Either way, they're beautiful, majestic creatures, soaring high above my head.
The time that passes make you whole. The bones that break help you grow. Who can say that nothing is new? For there is nothing new under the sun. And who can say there is nothing old? For no one has seen everything under the sun.
What's an adult? To me, an adult is somebody who's able to appreciate their mistakes and flaws. Someone who can give up happily and go at it again knowing they'll lose, not because it's productive, but because it's where they want to be. Someone who's willing to give at a 2% rate and only take at a 0.27. And primarily, an adult is someone who knows they won't ever reach the top but tries, and ends up settling for a suburban apartment near a community college, giving out 3 popsicles in the winter because the BLA kids think it's funny. Someone who doesn't know where they're going and simply doesn't want to.
I was raised to look towards the sky. The sun will predict the future, the stars will guide me home. I was taught that God communicates through the sky. When the rising sun turns red, a storm will come. While a falling sun turns red, the storm has passed. When the sky is filled with pastels, you are not alone. Ones that you mourn are watching above. In times of hardship, I turn to these beliefs. I turn to nature to guide my way. I turn to my mourned ones to guide my soul. Where the sky meets the sea, that is where we will meet again.
The smell of daffodils in the sun, a sense of clean. I've felt the sun before, but this experience was like none other. My mom on her hands and knees digging up soil from the ground. That was the moment. Daffodils were my favorite flower.
We go day after day, the wind always seems to blow the same. Calendar pages don't matter in the same way my cosmos just began to bud, or how the grass and trees have a lovely amethyst hue. It's true, I might be late, but no one's rushing the robins to leave so soon. So I'll wait for my flowers to bloom, but all in their time, only when they're ready, since time isn't everything, after all.
Life can be hard at times. We all have our ups and downs. I feel like I'm falling into an empty darkness of judgment, self-doubt, and fear of the unknown. I think of all the mistakes I have made, of all the people who I think hate me, and the anger in myself of not knowing or not having more friends. All I need is one short sentence from someone. You got this, because I know how strong you can be. Proud of you.
How do you follow a blackbird in its fluttering path to spring? How do you become heard in a world not listening? How do you do the wash when the suds are smudged with dirt? When the time goes by, how does the world heal from its hurt?
One simple phrase. Why is it so hard to say? 3 little words, not often found today. They could rebuild bridges burned. They could make friendships return. And all one has to say is, I forgive you.
The beginning is but an understatement. It is the start of forever and keeper of secrets yet to be told. Meeting his gaze was the start of more than an intertwining of souls, but the spark of curiosity and adventure, and the comforting sound of the meadow lark making himself known in the morning as I wake up beside him. The beginning of waking up to breakfast and tea, waiting for my first sip, and candy sharks from the gas station he grabbed on his way home just for me. I guess the wait was never as bad as it seemed.
The woods can handle all of your grief and joy, or in other words, how I met my therapist. Self-improvement is a never-ending struggle. I believe that every person has a piece of the solution to share, and letting someone share a part of their life with you, whether it be a childhood story or in marriage, helps us grow. But it just so happens that it's difficult to form a meaningful connection with 8 billion people. In my eyes, a therapist acts as a jigsaw fitness trainer, helping fit each puzzle piece of perspective together. Now us boring normies find a recommended professional with a license that they hire. I'm too cool for that. I found a balding middle-aged man with rabies in the woods for free.
Flipping through the pages, each stained with thoughts and moments. Faster, faster. Must find what I'm looking for. Everyone's waiting for me to catch up. Don't they understand? I need time. Why can't I have it? Why are they pushing me to flow like a hurricane? To travel fast and quickly down my road, to speed through my crammed, oppressive days, to never show the cracks. Don't they know? I need to go at my own speed, to travel with my pencil 1 word at a time, to write the chapters of my life. I need time. Why can't I have it?
Always a mark, always a sign, some way to tell, worn proudly or hidden, a scar or a wrinkle, standing out or lost in the crowd. For everything you do, there is always a mark. There is always a sign.
And in that moment, the whole world may as well have died, save for the town. It's a small town and an old road leading through it, mountains defining it, cars passing from one side to the next. They say the hunt for community here is tough. It's all cigarettes and beer on rotten porches. I think it's just a challenge, an acceptance of difference, an acceptance of people even when you dislike or disagree, then find and sculpt from what was. A neighbor who helps when you need it, and you the same, a mutual relationship we call community. Niceties in the heart of such an empty place tell us that people can be good, will be good. People will be bad, people will do bad things, but the one hope we can find is that the people aren't bad. At the heart of the nothingness, where the roads fade into distant highways, and the driveways are dirt and the winters are cold, where the neighbors are close and yet so many acres away, we see then that save for the town, the world may as well have died.
Chapter 2. Death.
Chapter 2. Death.
Chapter 2. Death.
Many people fear it. Some love it. Most don't understand it. Some don't care. Death is scary. Death is calm. Death breaks family apart. Death brings family together. It is unstoppable, but it can be stalled. Every day death comes to many people all around the world. Death comes in many ways, shapes, and forms. Death causes anger. It causes peace. Everything dies eventually.
In my eyes, the worst way to die is to be hit by a car. No matter where you are in life, happy, miffed, or mildly amused, it all ends unceremoniously by the hands of a recently divorced, drunk 50-year-old blaring Miley Cyrus out the window of a used Subaru. No build-up, no heartfelt goodbyes, no last wishes, only a party in the USA, which maybe isn't the worst song to go out on, but it's certainly not my first pick.
I left my mountain for the last time this year. I can smell winter. The air crisps and shrivels. The sun deserts me for the next 124 evenings. The stars see their advantage and dance in the cold air, crawling along the spine of the crescent in the sky. Life is birthed in the darkest part of the year. Oft hope is born when all is forlorn, and that, I add, that love is oft born when nature flings away her warm embrace.
I will miss you without a doubt, but should I have to? Should I be forced to say goodbye? Things were simpler then, for me and for everyone. When it comes to say goodbye, I will force out a farewell and reminisce about the days of worrying about the future instead of despising the present.
Lament for unity. Someone fought to be alone, but now they can't sustain the family that rose like sparks from a flame. The children's pockets are barren lands, while their souls yearn for life beyond the sands. Time constricted within the clock, ever sucked into the spiraling hands. The alarm wakes them up over and over again, but why bother rise when the snooze button calls them every time they wonder when. When they do stand up from their cozy bed covers, the family they've been forced into shuts down their words. Their mouths stitched closed and their pockets constantly barren, leave no room to move into a better world to fare in.
I sit at the top of a mountain on a charred old oak stump. The mountain sits with a coat of pine draped across its surface. The place I sit now possesses an unseen engraving. It reads, "Here be where the last wolves burned, where we burned the last wolves." The stump I sit upon is nature's closest approximation to a tombstone for the many dead. A crime so old only the descendants of the perpetrators will carry its memory. The side I sit upon now is a mass grave. Only ashes remain of the victims. It's an old mountain scorned by morality. I sit now upon the Monadnock.
I held a flickering candle on the shore of my lake, the sand getting into the creases of the fabric to my skirt as I sat. The candle cast a beautiful glow onto the water. The moon shone bright with a glimmer of silver light, shining onto everything in its grasp. I could live there forever. I could sit there watching the candle burn for all eternity, but at some point the candle will be snuffed out and the lake will disappear.
The scattered light picks its way back home to the sun, leaving me in the afterglow of a place you once cherished. The world is feeling unsettlingly somber in the heavy silence. She questions the justice of another child returning to sleep in her cradling arms. The falling leaves crash with a heavy weight in this quietude, whose only other interruptions are the loon that wails at the sound of one less pair of lungs breathing in a world you loved so much.
As childhood washes away, I grieve what I never had, a time lost for eternity, forever wishing to turn back, to redo what I've already done. For I am going into adulthood with useless tools on my belt, work with no play. Remembrance for the time I played with sticks on the floor, when I would wrap myself under the tree for my midnight nap, waking up with the sunrise as I do. I grieve for the time I have lost, the time I have wasted. I gave up the childhood for what? I wish I could turn back time, to where it was also simply complex. For now I am wishing upon the stars to turn back time on this wandering clock.
A roll of the dice, from 1 to 10, could determine the result of a great many men. Decisions too many to count, and a roll of the dice to settle it out. A gamble, a bet, a wager perhaps, but no one would know about this die's last lapse.
Soon I'll uproot, I'll move my branches, and the way I sway will change for a bittersweet feeling of knowing I've got the whole world in one place. No more chasing sunsets to see him, I'll learn to groove and grow in my new home. As I understand, it'll all make sense in the end.
I was born from nature, created and raised free, and when I die I will return to a place I used to cherish. I will fly through the sky watching. I will watch the children play. I will watch the adults dance. The beauty of life will one day return. The sky will be blue, the water clear. You will hear birds sing instead of gunshots fly. Suns will set around clouds instead of dust. Cities will be rebuilt, homes created, and I will fly above, watching, listening, living. I may join hearts with the ones I have lost, and I will hug the ones that are still living. I feel their hands now, reaching out. My heart breaks at their comforting souls. My heart breaks full of grief, for more are joining the land of nature, more are flying above looking down, and I am here trying to live. I watch children die, I watch adults mourn. The beauty of this life is gone, the sky is gray, the water poisoned. I hear birds and gunshots fly, sunsets littered with debris. Cities are being destroyed, homes demolished, and I am here, watching, listening, living, and my heart breaks for the ones who are still here.
A howl creeps up from beneath the bed. It's the alarm. Turn it off. It's the 15th one, 5:30, and feeling sorry. Take a shower. Should it be hot or cold? Brush your teeth. I hate the aftertaste of toothpaste. The electric toothbrush doesn't work. Do you want it to work? Go downstairs. The coffee is hot. So you put in half and half, or milk? Drink it black, perhaps? Sit down holding coffee with half and half in it. Do you like half and half? I can't tell anymore. Shoes, shirt, pants, door, porch, driveway, road. The sky above, the pond with its pink and blue fade of the sky above it. Perfect. How many perfect pink and blue mornings did you miss? How many mornings do you remember seeing? What did my first cat's fur feel like? Where'd they think you would be by now? Certainly not here. Will you go from here? I don't know, but I'll have to go somewhere. I'm too busy not being able to handle right now, to handle later me issues.
Rust overrides craftsmanship, and memories forgotten in the rust float in the stale, dusty air of decayed desert dreams. Moss fronds blackened by frost on a rock, slowly warmed by the sun. An ancient process of cycles and losses, good and bad, life and death. Nothing truly dies, for even death is a gateway and has a purpose.
As it has come to be autumn, I have changed to a bright orange and red. I hang on when gusts of wind blow through me. I try my hardest to hold on tight. At some point I fell to the depths of this hard, cold surface. No longer flying in the sky. Now I lay here waiting to disintegrate into the earth. But no, I'm picked up by this unknown body that is full of life. I get held against this bright white thing that used to be a part of my family. And now I can be remembered and preserved forever.
People tell me things. They don't say, they don't ask, they tell. Sometimes I need to be told what to do, told my options, but sometimes I need to be asked. Can you handle it? Will you help me? What do you want? People rarely ask anymore. I didn't know before, so why should I now? What could I have learned or done to make my answers change? Maybe we should all start to ask instead of tell.
A murder of crows encircles the cadaver on the road, making sure it's a suitable meal before they dig in. My car rushes down the highway, coming straight at them. I press on my brakes to ensure they escape. It would be a shame if another body were to join Death's parade.
As my breath grows shallow and the lights dim, the world starts to spin. Not in the way that makes you dizzy, but in a calming cold rush. As it fades to black, I hear a haunting sound. A kind of sound that makes the hairs at the back of your neck stand up and lets loose a flow of goosebumps that cover you like a blanket. As the light starts to fade back into my sight, I smell fresh lemongrass and wildflowers. I feel a warmth rush over me. As my eyes open, I take in the sight. Where is the magical place with a beautiful red sun, where the wind creates music, where the animals roam freely playing, where the air is so light it seems like I am flying, where I need not to touch the green ground.
Chapter 3, Remembrance.
Chapter 3. Remembrance.
Chapter 3, Remembrance.
After getting the news, I sat in my room for about an hour and a half thinking. Then I got up, tripped, got up again, cried a bit, and for the first time in my life, I stopped worrying. Worrying about if I talked with her enough, worrying if I was actually funny that one time, or was it just a pity laugh, worrying about every minutia of our relationship, until it just stopped. No matter the quality or quantity, it was all time with her. I met her and knew her, and I can be satisfied with that. While I don't know how I'll feel in the next few years, I can say for now that this bucket of memories is enough to love her by. And in the end, no matter how I feel, I'll never have to lose at Scrabble by 337 points again, hopefully.
The trees flinging off their garments they wore to their ball in the most elegant motion, an old railroad track with dizzying cliffs on each side, a broken bridge destroyed by that infamous New England hurricane, rotting rail ties if you kick up the mold. Oh, there's layers and layers of footprints on this road. Some of them are mine, mostly from when I was proud that my shoes were size 1 and plastic ponies were my main concern.
I wish I closed my eyes with you, stopped seeing the world. I wish I gave you a hug before your skin turned gray and cool. I feared the pain I could have caused to disturb your fragile body. Yet if I had the chance, I would hug and never let go. 1 year ago, I became alone. Our birthday turned into mine. Our laughs became singular. Our cries harshened by reality. As one goes while the other is left behind, the fading duet cannot escape reality. So I wish upon a star for one last hug, where I will never let go, where my heart is fixed and my soul returns, where the pinging in my chest and the lump in my throat ceases to exist, where we can watch the stars dance through the night sky, only calmed by the pastel welcoming of the new day, where our hearts pound as one instead of mine pounding for two. I wish upon the stars for this day to come, where we are rejoined. I tell all the stories I have lived out for you, and you can tell all your tales from the world after this one.
My butterflies haven't fluttered away. In fact, they still flap their wings when someone says your name, their extremities painted with orange and blue hues, dotted with black or yellow lines, yet unlike any of their own kind. They dance to the melody of your voice, and I don't know if I have a choice in the matter, but I think I'm okay with that.
Some keep their memories close, not realizing the burden. Eventually this burden will force cracks, letting the pressure escape, until there's nothing left, not realizing the burden of memory has been forced onto others.
If I were to hear something from anyone, it would be that I'm just where I need to be and nothing more. Not the fact that my future is uncertain or that my past is regrettable, just that where I am is where I need to be.
Does the wax burn, or do you smile as it hardens on your skin? Do you know the night will pass, or do you continually keep your curtain shut? Wax and life are transient, but flame and spirit never die.
Normality is a comfortable road, but no flowers grow. No flowers, no butterflies, no life to have lived. There is no history if nothing happens. If you never take action, if you don't take that step into that field of flowers, just when the fear of uncertainty suffocates your will to move forward, do not settle for a comfortable hell just to avoid the uncomfortable heaven. Great things lie beyond the butterflies, but only if you take that chance, that risk. I know you're scared, my love, of what may yield from this mysterious seed called the world. What do you need called the world? What do you wish to see, to feel, to hear, to make it make sense? The senses that make you human. Sometimes it's excitement, sometimes it's fear, and that's okay. I'm here. I will walk with you until you're ready to let go. You are loved, you are worthy, and you are deserving of what lies beyond.
It never was just new work to me, or another prompt to read. It was the thing that made me no longer need therapy. It helped me see life just a little differently. The sky is no longer just blue, it's a lovely shade of aquamarine. With tufts of cotton scattered across it, it's no longer just a night sky. I see it, and the twinkling stars seem to say hello in their own form of Morse code. Life is poetry in motion if you stop watching your feet as you walk, but instead see the swallows flying between the trees. So when I'm swamped with stress, I knew on Tuesdays I could let it all go, with good company, a good prompt, and some memories to go. I will miss you. I will go far, but I will come back bearing stories and tales to share. This is farewell for now, my friend, but I assure you this is not the end.
Isn't it funny how fast and slow time changes? In the moment, everything drags and shuffles, but a glance backward shows that a season changed during those dragging days. A year passed, a decade, and this process will never stop. When you open your book of life, can you finally turn the page to a new chapter? Or are you still waiting before this chapter ends? Or are you drawing nearer and nearer to the very end, hesitating with every breath, wondering if it's your last? Or have you begun someone else's book, counting down the days until you give it to them upon their arrival in this world? Beautiful and bitter, teeming and barren, always, always changing. I will miss you. You are loved here. A star from the northern sky will go out, but it did not extinguish. A farewell to the old, a greeting to the new. Love from me will be carried by you.